I wanted to talk about my anxiety today. I talked about depression yesterday. I wanted to give you an update on my anxiety. Essentially, what is going on is my anxiety is pretty much always present. It's one of those tricky things. I like it there because it's a bit of a warning system for me. When I'm in a place that it maybe doesn't feel comfortable, or that I'm going to run into some sort of danger or situation that is not going to be safe, my anxiety does give off those warning bells. I look at it as kind of my third eye intuitive sense. However, anyone else out there might refer to your anxiety. I've learned to embrace my anxiety. I don't see it as a flaw. It is a tool that I've fine-tuned and been able to develop over the years of knowing I've had anxiety. I chose a couple years ago to just accept it and work with it instead of trying to combat it or fight it, I guess. And I think it's really helpful. It's been a good tool for me to use in the past. And I hope it will be a good tool to keep using in the future. When I get anxiety, it's a mental and a physical thing both. The mental part of it is, I don't know. It's usually a variables thing. There's unknown parts to something that I'm doing. Either I'm trying something new and I have no idea what to expect, or there's another situation that I may be avoiding because I don't know what the outcome will be. Those are usually the hardest because that usually goes along with something new. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't really have any expectations. Your only expectations are that you are hopefully going to have fun, you're going to remain safe while doing it, and you're going to end up with a new experience and a story to share with people that you love. The physical part of it is I tend to get leg shakes. Trying to think what else I feel when I get anxious. I have trouble sitting still. I tend to pace and fidget, because the anxiety to me is something that is it's energy that I don't know what to do with, and I don't know, fidgeting with like a pen like this. This is me being anxious, and my leg will shake. I don't know if you can see that. My leg will shake, and I don't really have any physical like tightness in my stomach or anything. If I'm super anxious and I am running short on time, then there is a sense of panic that sets in. I haven't had a panic attack for, it's gonna be close to 8 months now, which I'm very thankful for, because those are scary. When I was having the panic attacks, I didn't know what to do. I needed to move, and I would have like call them flare hands, just like need to move or do something with my body, and I pace, and I don't think I've ever cried during a panic attack that I can remember. But yeah, those are all the physical things. I was trying to think of what else I experienced with panic attacks. I've never had such a bad one that I've had different breathing patterns that I remember. And I'm pretty able to stay in a present mental state when I do that. Like I'm constantly going over the what could go wrong, what could go right, what if this happens, what if this happens. A lot of what ifs, because there's a lot of unknown variables there. So the physical part, that's what that looks like. Now, what I choose to do about it, that part I'm still not sure about. I've been able to cope with it and use it to my advantage, which is good. With me, when I get anxious, I start to overthink, and that also goes the other way around too. When I overthink, I get anxious because I'm constantly playing something out in my mind on a reel. And that takes a lot of brain power, and I think that's a good reason as to why when I'm worked up and I have a lot going on, I think that's why I'm so tired. I don't think that's the whole reason and all the reason, but it's a good chunk of the reason. So yeah, when I get anxious, I tend to overthink. When I overthink, I tend to get anxious. When both of those are in full swing, and they're in full swing for a while, and there's stress added to it, and how does that work? The anxiety gets worse with the stress. Anxiety gets worse with the stress. And the stress gets worse with the anxiety. So again, with the overthinking and the anxiety, and the stress and the anxiety, they both go the same way. And with the stress, I don't tend to overthink as much, although there is an element of that in there. But with me, when I get anxious, I am usually some sort of stressed, and when I overthink, I am usually stressed and anxious or stressed. And then when both of those are in, as I mentioned before, a full swing, that's when my mental health starts to decline even further, and I start to get into the depressive or depression patterns that I've experienced in the past 2 years. And when I get away and get the time that I need to fully process and to think about what's been going on, and think about what I all have going on and what the future holds, and planning for the future, and what I'm going to do about my financial situation. It allows me time to reflect on all of that and to do what I can to focus on not necessarily the big picture, but all the small things that are going to lead up to the big picture. So when I'm really stressed and overwhelmed about something, I don't know where to start, I usually break that down into smaller parts. Trying to think of an example. Let's say my room at the farm is just unbelievably dirty and messy and has been cleaned for, let's say, months. Instead of being overwhelmed and just staring at everything and wondering where to start, I just have to tell myself to start. Pick something and either move it to a different spot so I can clean or sweep or whatever in that spot, and continue to make small moves until I get the full thing done. So that's helped. It's definitely helped. Everyone tells me that I should be on some sort of medication and that I would do better on medication for the depression, but that's, to me, that is numbing something, which I don't want to do. Because anxiety and stress and overthinking cause depression for me, I don't want to go on something to mute my depression. I would rather fix the small things and do the root cause, because it's mood and irritability that come from the overthinking, anxiety, and stress, and that in turn causes the depression. So I feel like I need to work on those three things. Anxiety, I'm not sure, again, if I want to be medicated for. Overthinking, I don't know, that might be a mood thing. And stress is just managing whatever I have going on in my life, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. So I'm busy battling with those items at the moment. I don't think there's any quick fix. I have to do what I'm comfortable with at my own accord, so I don't know what the future holds in that realm, for those three things: overthinking, anxiety, and what eventually leads to my depression. So once I figure or test something out with those, I will provide another update, but until then, I think I'm just going to manage them the best I can, and if I find something or have a recommendation from my ND or MD about something that might help, I will definitely be open to try it. But it has to be, again, on my own accord, my own decision, and my own pace. So I think I'm going to leave this one here. I hope, again, I explained that clearly and it made sense. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next video.